This video is sponsored by Audible. We all like a good story, don't we? What if I told you that our friends over at Audible will read thousands of stories to you at the touch of a button? You can listen to their professional narrators narrate whatever audiobooks you choose, anytime, anywhere, from any device, making any time story time. A recent Pew study revealed that a tragic 27% of adults haven't read a single book in the past year due to being too busy as the main reason. But Audible is here to help and put the love of stories back into our lives. And it's easier now than it's ever been. As people transition to the new living at home normal these days, Audible cared enough to create several 100% free audio services that really make me happy. Stories.audible.com features hundreds of audiobooks available from any device for no cost or sign up. I'm not kidding, you can literally just visit the website and click on a title and some super attractive sounding person will start reading it to you. So please, do yourself a favor and check out their completely free services at stories.audible.com. And for those of you who are interested in their complete collection of thousands of titles and immediate access to all Audible originals, or even daily news digests from places like the Wall Street Journal, you can sign up for their membership with a free trial by visiting audible.com/MNB or texting MNB to 500-500 with your fancy cellular phone device. Once again, that is audible.com/MNB or text MNB to 500-500. And speaking of stories, why don't we have a listen to one of the greatest legends ever told? Once upon a time, there was a kingdom called Hyrule. In this kingdom there lived a beautiful princess, and her name was Zelda. The kingdom thrived, blessed with good wealth and prosperity from the goddesses above, until one day, when a primal evil arose from the depths of the earth and threatened the very existence of good all over the possession of the kingdom's most valued relic, the omnipotent Triforce. However, when evil seemingly overpowered good and all hope was nearly lost for Hyrule and its princess, a hero appeared wielding a legendary blade capable of extinguishing all traces of evil from the land. And this hero's name was Link. Together, he and the princess would prevent the corruption of the Triforce and expel evil once and for all, leaving the kingdom, its princess, and the hero to live on for a very well-deserved happily ever after. Until it all happened again, and again, and again. You see, this primal evil had a source, and that source had a name. Demise, the king of the demons, is the individual who is solely responsible for the conception of evil and the beginning of the cycle by which evil continues to regain form time and time again, whether it's by way of an evil wizard, a Gerudo king, or the literal manifestation of hatred. Eventually, even the people of Hyrule caught on to the pattern of this cycle and decided to take preventative measures against it, which was successful for a time. But as we've all seen in the most recent title, Breath of the Wild, this malicious hatred found a way around even the most cunning of Hylian plans. In a world where no amount of years or millennia can prevent the returning of evil in a seemingly eternal cycle, is there any hope for permanent peace in Hyrule? Is there any way to end the cycle? Yep, there is. Well, okay, maybe there is. Now this is going to be a theory that's pretty darn speculative and mostly a what-if kind of scenario, but it's pretty incredible to think about, at least for me. Also, in this video, I'm kind of only talking about games that feature the Master Sword or the original magical sword for this theory. So the games featuring the Four Sword or the Phantom Sword will be considered a different cycle in this specific video. So anyway, let's get into it. Long ago, Demise initially coveted the Triforce, right? You know, that all-powerful relic created by the goddesses themselves for the sole purpose of granting wishes and starting wars, like this one. And that desire of his is somehow burned into the minds of all future incarnations of his evil, like Ganon, for instance. Ganon's one and only desire every time he appears is to use the Triforce to blot out the light and create a world of darkness that he alone will rule. This means that Ganon's desire is an extension of Demise himself. But if we remember what happened to Demise Demise at the end of the game Skyward Sword, it's clear that his essence was sucked into the Master Sword and there he began to deteriorate, according to Fee. This is all well and good, but have you ever wondered how exactly Demise's hatred is incarnating over and over again to create the other demons like Ganon? I mean, we know he cursed the royal family in the spirit of the hero, as we see in his dying words, but what does that actually mean? Like, what are the mechanics of this whole thing? Did he just utter a curse to the wind to create more demons every couple thousands of years? How is that being fulfilled? Are there other demons taking up the mantle in order to maintain his curse's credibility? How did his curse create the cycle? Well, I think we can gather a very important clue to the nature of this curse by looking at what we know Ganon, who is a reincarnation of Demise, can do. Fast forward to the prologue section of The Wind Waker, which details the return of Ganon, who was previously sealed away following the adult timeline ending of Ocarina of Time. The fact that he busted out of his seal is what I'd like to draw attention to. You see, sometimes Ganon does have help from his followers to be resurrected, but in this case, it just took an unknown yet large amount of time and Ganon was able to actually legitimately build enough power to burst out of his seal and terrorize the world once again. Although, that one may actually be able to be chalked up to the fact that he had the Triforce of Power already in his possession following the events of Ocarina of Time. But this also is not the only time we see Ganon growing in power until he can break out of the seal either. In the most recent game, Breath of the Wild, Calamity Ganon was defeated, then literally takes 10,000 years to grow in power in order to once again break out of his seal and terrorize the world. We have at this point no idea where the Triforce of Power is, and in fact many people theorize Zelda to actually have the full Triforce within herself somehow, which is not really what I believe, but either way, we have no proof that Calamity Ganon was able to build power via the Triforce of Power and return to terrorize Hyrule 10,000 years later. So where is his power coming from? You might be tempted to say it's coming from the Ganondorf corpse, but where is that power coming from? Why is this power so undying and undefeatable when Demise has been so completely defeated in the past? Does this mean that the reincarnations of Demise like Ganon are actually more powerful than Demise was himself? Well, no, I don't think so, and this is what I'm getting at. What if Demise is not actually dead? I mean, Breath of the Wild proves that Fee is still alive within the sword, so why not Demise as well? Haven't you ever wondered why the Master Sword continually has its power drained and has to be powered back up over time? A little strange for the bane of evil's bane, don't you think? What if Demise is actually behind that and is able to build his power from within the Master Sword, inside of which he is sealed, and thus weaken the sword and create the new demon kings we've been fighting across tens of thousands of years, like the many incarnations of Ganon? What if these are all creations of Demise himself, who is single-handedly keeping the cycle alive from within the sword? Which would mean that the sages, the princesses, the demons, the heroes, and the sword itself are all tied to the cycle because Demise isn't dead. But since Demise has been sealed away and nobody can really touch him, how could we possibly stop the cycle that he's continually fueling? Allow me to answer this question with another question. How do you stop a river from flowing, or an arrow from flying, or a bloodline from continuing? Okay, that last one was pretty dark, granted, but in each scenario, you go to the source and cut it off. In this case, to stop Demise's power from seeping into the world over and over again, what if his prison, the Master Sword, has to be destroyed while he's inside? The way I see it, this could go one of two ways. One, if the Master Sword was broken, it could release Demise into the world, which would now exist without the Master Sword. That would be a bummer, but two, the Master Sword could destroy the souls that live inside it, Fee and Demise, freeing the world from the hateful cycle once and for all. Now, I'm not saying that this is something I expect to happen in a future game, or even that I want to see happen, because I kinda really like the Master Sword. This is all completely a what-if kind of scenario, like I mentioned early on in the video. But doesn't it kinda make sense? If Demise is still alive within the Master Sword, that makes sense as to why Hylia created it to seal him in the first place, as he was initially her enemy. And it also makes sense as to why the Master Sword is the only weapon capable of defeating Demise's evil creations. But if Link could use the Master Sword to defeat the current incarnation of Demise and then destroy the sword, what if that is what it would take to end the cycle once and for all? And that is my theory on how to end the cycle of hatred that governs The Legend of Zelda. Did you enjoy the video? If so, please leave a like and comment below what your aha moment was, or if you think I missed something, or if you think I'm just crazy. And also, please consider subscribing to not only stick around, but also to help grow the channel and reach more Zelda fans just like you and me. As always, huge thanks to you for watching and to my fantastic supporters who make my day every day. The new faces for this video are Joshua C and MND, who both decided to support the channel right here on YouTube by clicking that join button below every video. If you're interested in joining the ranks of my elite crew and helping the next video come to life, follow that same join button located below every video or visit the links in the description to find out how. Also, real quick, I have some amazing fan art to show off from a very talented individual that I am very grateful to have in my Discord server named Rinny. And isn't this just the cutest? They even used my favorite costumes from Breath of the Wild. Come over to my server and say hi to Rinny and the rest of us and yours truly by visiting the link in the description below. That's all I've got for this one, so as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. This is MaskedNintendoBandit signing out. Peace!